Hey guys, welcome to Parkour DXB's first home learning video. I'm Harry.
And I'm Barry. Today we're going to be going through some vaulting. So the goal of these videos is to keep you learning while you're at home.
So we're going to give you some parkour moves that you can practice in your home environment to keep you moving.
So first things first, we've got to get warmed up. So we're going to focus on the joints we're going to use most for the vaults, but if in doubt, we'll work from the top down. So starting with the head, we can start looking left to right. With these, do as many as you feel like you need. We go up and down. A few circles one way. And then the other way. Move on to the shoulders, rolling forwards. Move on to big circles of the elbows. And then with the arms. Good, reverse, go backwards. Like I say, if you feel you need to spend more time in any one of these areas, please do. Back to the elbows. And the shoulders. Good, onto our wrists, hands together, elbows together. Making circles. Good, if you can reverse the circles, a bit more tricky this one. A few waves. And the other way. Okay, keeping the arms up in front of your body, feet a little bit wider apart. We're going to be twisting side to side. Try and keep your hips still, but look all the way around behind you. Good. Okay, hands on hips. Start doing big circles around. And the other way. Very good, okay. So we're gonna need to be strong and able to lift our knees up as high as we can for many of these vaults, especially when we get back to doing them on obstacles. The next one we're gonna do is we're gonna lift the knee up as high as you possibly can. Really, really squeeze. Pull it around to the side and back down. Now it's gonna come back up but stay out to the side. Come back to the front and down, swap it over. So we're really squeezing at the top here so that we're really putting in a lot of effort into keeping these legs up. It's gonna get us warm, but it's also a good little bit of a strength building in our hips. Trying not to stand on a cat. Good. So for the next section of the warm-up, we're going to be down in our full squat position. Our heels are down on the floor, our feet are a comfortable distance apart. Okay, so many of you will know this one. We're going to put one knee down on the floor. We're not using our hands for this whole section. Back up, other knee. And we're going to swap a few times. Again, the hips are going to be working here, the ankles are going to be working here. Very good, okay. Now, if you can, we're going to try and go down both knees, softly as you can, and back up. Again, you can repeat these as many times as you like. Making sure you do this nice and gently. If you have a carpet or a rug, it's a really good place to do it. Good, okay. Moving on from there, we're gonna sit down. We're gonna cross one leg over the top, a few circles one way with an ankle, and around the other way. Good, swap it over. And the other way with that foot. Probably. And finally, as a last little challenge before we move on to our vaults, let's see if we can get up now without using our hands.
Okay, so the first vault that we're going to learn is going to be the step vault. Now I know that a lot of you would have learned the step vault before, but doing inside is a little bit weird, it's a little bit challenging, and we're going to be doing it in a slightly different way. So I'm going to teleport over to here. Okay, so the first part of the step vault is going to be the floor step vault. So this is really good because we've got lines here, and Harry's going to make sure his right hand, his right foot is going to be on one line, his left hand, his left foot is going to be on another line. But obviously, because it's step vaults, excuse me, kitty catty, you're going to do opposites. So now he's in this step vault position, he releases his right foot, he puts it in front of his right hand, and then he switches his left hand over, and then the foot comes through, and he carries on just like this. That's it, left foot in front of there. Wonderful. And you continue that until you go out of frame. Always go out of frame. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put one hand down on the step. We're going to have our other foot down on the same step. This is the normal step vault position. Then the other leg is going to be poking out in front of you. This is then going to move, it's going to scoop around in front of the hand. And then what's going to happen is you're going to release that hand off, place the other hand on the new step, and then the whole thing's going to repeat again. So the foot comes out, scoops round, release one hand, put the other hand down, other foot comes out, scoops round, until you get the whole way down to the bottom of the steps. Woo!
So now that we've mastered doing the step vault on the floor and on the stairs, we're now going to try and play around with the movement a little bit. So we're going to need to use our sofa for this, so make sure you've asked your parents' permission before you start climbing all over their furniture. So when we approach this one, we're going to do it just like a normal step vault. Opposite hand, opposite foot, okay? Making sure we still leave lots of space for the other leg. So now the leg starts to come through, but at the same time, you're swapping the hands over and replacing the foot with the other foot. So you end up doing the step vault back in the other direction, okay? Remember to practice both sides. Nice. And make sure to pause this video and spend the next 5 or 10 minutes really playing around with this so you know what to do. So the more time you spend practicing this, the better. So spend a little bit more than just the time we're showing you here. Okay, so now we're making some really good progress. So we're going to start working on a movement now that's actually going to set you up really well for term 3 at the academy. So make sure when you're practicing this that you're taking it on board, ready to bring it to the academy with you. Now this is going to be combining both a move called a palm spin, which many of you may have done before, which looks a little bit like this, going all the way around the edge of an obstacle, and the step vault. So the first thing we need to make sure we're doing is getting our hands in the right position before we start. So we're going to need to decide which way we're going to turn. Barry likes to turn around towards his right, so he's going to need to put his right hand first on the edge of the sofa, or maybe you're lucky enough to have a wall in your garden, okay? The left hand is also going to go on the top. Now, the right hand becomes the center of our spin, or like an axle of a wheel, okay? The left hand is going to be driving us around, so it's going to be pulling you all the way around, okay? So as long as we make sure this right arm, or the arm you're spinning around, is straight and strong, and the left hand is doing the pulling, you can't really go wrong, okay? So the first step we need to practice is first we need to make sure we don't squish a cat, okay? And we're going to be spinning halfway round to land on your sofa, okay? If you can land on your feet, great. If you can't, no problem, all right? So keep practicing this for a little while. Take the next 5 minutes, 10 minutes to get yourself comfortable with this. If you can do it both ways, again, even better, but try and make sure you get it right on one side before confusing yourself too much with the second side. Okay, great work so far. So I'm assuming at this point you've spent some time practicing, you've been keeping the arm you're rotating around straight and strong, the other hand is pulling you around, and we're at least getting now to about halfway, okay? Some of you maybe have got a little bit further. Now this is where we can start to think about introducing the step vault. So from here, the arm you've been rotating around stays exactly where it is. The opposite leg comes out to the side and we're here ready to step vault. Make sure, as always, we're leaving plenty of space between the hand and the foot. So we're doing a half turn, reaching the foot out, step vault through. Okay, now take some more time, practice this. Make this very, very comfortable before you move on. If we rush this too quickly, it can lead to sort of more complications and eventually learning bad technique. We want to avoid this. So now, we want to start to really blend these two moves together. So this needs us, when we go around, we're keeping the feet up high, so we're getting those hips up higher than before, getting on either one foot down, pushing through into that step vault, okay? You might only get most of the way around, but eventually your feet are gonna start to come closer and closer back towards the edge, okay? Now this is a really nice move. It feels great, it looks great, and it's actually a really useful way of turning around midway through a route or something. Again, take some time to practice, all right? And try not to make yourself too dizzy.
Okay, so this brings us on to some common faults that people do with the step vaults. So the first one is when you don't have enough room, maybe, or maybe you do have enough room, but you just don't do it, is putting your hand and foot too close together. So what happens here is that as you try and bring your leg through, it might get stuck and you might end up falling forwards like that.
Ouch.
Yeah, you're in. And then the second way you might fall with this one is that people try to put their hand and their foot on, and because they realise that it's too close, they try and lift this hand up and they end up falling that way, the other way. Okay, so the other fault that people have is when they put their hand and foot too close to them. So where the obstacle is, the start of the obstacle, that's where they put their hand and foot. It means that you've got a long way to go before your foot can reach the floor. You've got to do like a bit of a jump, which he successfully did. And then the other one is the opposite of the last one, is when you put your hand and your foot too far along and you end up just bashing your knee on the corner here.
Challenge section.
So the 3 levels of challenge are going to be the step vaults down the stairs slowly and controlled. Level 2 is going to be a bit smoother, a bit faster. The aim isn't to go so fast that you trip over, it's just to go nice and smooth. And then the last level, level 3, is going to be to go the same hand and foot, which is much more difficult, which might be more for the advanced students.
Now, we'd love to know how you get on with these challenges. So either leave us a comment below, or even better, head over to Instagram, tag us in your posts, or even send us a direct message. We'd love to see how you're getting on and even what you think of these videos.
Okay, so now onto the game section. So the game that we're going to play is step vault based still, and we're going to try to make this person but on the floor in front of us. Cat's doing zoomies. So, okay, so what's going to happen is you're going to have a pile of clothes, all right, and they're going to be behind you. So move kitty catty. Okay, so you're going to be in step vault position. So one hand down, opposite foot down. The clothes are going to be behind you, and you have to try to pick up an item of clothing. Okay, sunglasses. And you're going to try and make the person. Okay, so step back, try to reach one thing.
Win.
Okay, and you try and do the hat and the glasses, the socks at the bottom. And you're doing pretty well. The top. Try and get it the right way up if you can. It's a very thin person. And then the trousers. No, you've kicked the socks out. Okay, yeah, it's looking pretty good with the arms. I like it.
It's me.
It is you.
Ta-da!
Ta-da. I mean, one foot's like fallen off and over there somewhere, but that's pretty much it. Obviously, this is something to do by yourself, but what you can do is you can get brother, sister, mum, dad, whoever, cousins, whoever's there, and you can both have a pile behind you and you can try and make the best person, so something that's laid out a little bit better, or you can try and get the person the fastest. Okay?
Enjoy!
So we would really love to know your feedback. The future of these videos really depends on what you guys want. We're making these especially for you, our students, so please leave us a comment in the section below to give us any feedback or suggestions that you may have.
That's all from us today, so train safe and we'll see you in the next video.